After thinking about it, I did decide to go ahead and see if I could tweak that old experimental catapult build and come up with something better.
We're going to
And this
push
is
up
what
on
I've switched
7-1.
to. So now I have two extended range large lasers instead of the PPCs. I have two medium pulse lasers instead of the standard medium lasers, and I have two SRM4s with Artemis instead of just plain SRM6, which means that I'm shooting fewer missiles per volley, but the shots are clustered together more tightly, so they will deliver more damage over a smaller area. And because I've saved about, I think it was about 4 tons with this new build, I was able to drop down from an extra light engine to a light engine. So now, instead of the mech being destroyed, if I lose any of my torsos, uh, I have to either lose both side torsos, or you can always still die if you lose the center torso. So the mech is more survivable. It has better heat management. The range is pretty comparable. I lost a little bit of medium laser range, and I lost some range on the PPCs, downgrading to the large lasers. But the large lasers are a lot easier to hit with. And this particular match is going to show just how well it can do with the long range aspect of this setup, because those large lasers still hit, for quite a distance. They don't deal their full damage at the ranges that I'm shooting at the enemies here, but they're doing most of the damage, and this is basically the other side of the battlefield. My idea is that I want to try to get the people that are kind of close to the back of their procession. That way I have the most time to keep shooting one target. I want to see if I can keep hammering their left side, because I know that's the side they're going to present to me, and maybe take off an arm or a side torso or something. So I line up my first victim here, and I don't really remember that I get any component destroyed notifications here. Actually, yeah, I'm sure I didn't. But I managed to poke this guy for quite a while. And I think because of the kind of shots being fired I could see off to my right, I decided to look over that way and see if I needed to suppress anyone, and I didn't really see a good target, so instead I just switched to this king crab over here. And if you see the puff of smoke coming off the king crab, I believe that means that I've stripped away armor on one of its components. So it's probably the left torso that's, open now.
Just in case you didn't get that, they headed straight for our base.
I'm guessing they've got some ECM mechs, so we really can't target anyone at this range, or we can't get any information on them. So all I can do is just keep poking with my large lasers.
New target. Okay.
And one of their lights inevitably shows up, and I help by shooting my teammate in the back. Sorry, Atlas. And I decide to go ahead and chase that light so that it doesn't just get to run around and shoot our team in the back, because clearly that's my job. But by the time I get to that generous position, because it's a pretty quick mech, by the time I get there, it's basically gone. So I peek around the building, try and find a new target. I see I've got a couple of allies here, but they are running scared because the whole team is right in front of us. This match, by the way, goes very, very badly.
Really got annihilated.
Just disappointed.
They got so many RMs.
New target acquired.
So like always, if you see the entire enemy team staring you in the face, reposition and try to find a better spot.
Target acquired. Warning.
I kind of abandoned that target, and I wish I had not, because his center torso armor was red, so that means I could have opened him up pretty quickly if I'd gone after him.
You need to head back to our base, because there's about 4 guys.
See there, I got another shot. He's still red, so he would have gone down fairly soon, but instead I decide to see if I can take some pressure off my allies here to the left of me. And I find a Warhammer who is pretty well open. but I have to give up on this guy because he goes around the building, and I think I've still got someone to my right, and I know I've got this Marauder 2 in my face.
Acquired. Enemy base is being captured.
No.
So I back off, and then I go do my absolute favorite thing in the world. Hello, 100-ton mech.
Acquired.
I'm staring you in the face, even though I'm smaller.
Oh, critical damage. Level critical.
And that guy is an 85-ton mech, so that's not much better.
Enemy base is being captured. Warning, incoming missile.
The Catapult, by the way, if you're not too familiar with it, is a 65-ton mech. Oh, and I did get that 100-ton mech, by the way. So, you know, sometimes it pays to stare down a big guy. Most of the time it doesn't. And I wish I had overridden there, because I believe that was the same Warhammer that I had opened up earlier. So I probably could have taken him down if I had just overridden. Basically, if you're in a really bad, you know, losing scenario like this, just go ahead and override. I mean, you don't have much to lose at that point. So now we are down to our last two teammates, and this guy has a fairly nice setup, you know, quadruple autocannons, or quadruple ultra autocannons, but it's kind of boring.
Online.
So I switched to the commando, and I don't like commandos. I like watching them suffer though, so I'm just going to watch this guy for the rest of the match,
Incoming missile.
which is not going to be too much longer, by the way.
Warning, incoming missile. Introducing critical damage.
Shadow Frost, yeah, stealth's not on.
And there he goes. That's our last team member.
I love a team that buddy communicates. It is with mine.
So then, when the damage pops up,
No, I don't.
you'll see that I still did pretty well. I mean, even though we got absolutely stomped, I still did 630 damage, which puts me in the top 25% of the damage chart. And tomorrow I'll show you another match, one that shows off the close range ability of this setup.